You've got a secret admirer who is finding it very difficult to hold back from approaching, introducing themselves. Or for some of you, this is somebody that you already know, you're already aware of, and they've been hiding a little crush from you. It feels like it may definitely surprise you if this person is able to like work up the courage, work up the nerve, to say something, because it feels like that you have, given this person many different like signals or indicators that you're interested, and they just haven't like done anything about that. So maybe something where you were kind of like confused, or you thought, okay, well, I respect and love myself enough. Like, I'm not going to chase anybody down and kind of force them, to talk to me or to get to know me. And so, with this energy of, I've thought about surprising you with a date, whether this is somebody that is like totally unknown to you, somebody who is just a stranger that has been captivated by you, or somebody that you're aware of that there may have been almost like that possibility, that chemistry with, that didn't really lead to anything. It feels like it's really going to catch you by surprise. Either of those situations, it's going to be like, wow, okay, you are interested. You do like me. There is something here. It's something for some of you. You might have been like, am I just imagining this? Am I reading too much into things? And it feels like there may have been different sort of factors that caused this person to not take action in the past. There could have been a bit of fear, intimidated by you energetically or actually, or there could have been like other things in their life. Maybe they were like fresh out of a relationship, not really ready to date again, but they've kind of kept an eye on you, and it's like, okay, now I'm ready. And if this is, a complete stranger that just sort of approaches you, it feels like it's going to be kind of the best surprise of the day, something very unexpected. That energy of a surprise also indicates that you're probably not going to get a whole lot of like signs, synchronicities letting you know, hey, today's the day something really big's gonna happen. Like this reading might be it, like the biggest kind of sign from the universe of like, hey, there's someone looking at you, and they've got attraction, they got this emotional, romantic energy. Because it feels like even if this is a scenario where you're like familiar with who this person is, or is almost like a failure to launch, or if this is a situation of somebody who they're aware of you, you're not aware of them, you're existing in a point in your timeline where you are supposed to be surprised, you are supposed to be caught off guard. You're not supposed to see that coming as far as like romance is concerned. You might have had experiences in the past with people that made you very hopeful. There could have been a lot of signs and synchronicities aligned with like previous situations, or possible situations that then, because we live in a free will zone, everybody has the ability to kind of like follow that nudge or choose to move in another direction. It feels like you might have been let down or confused by the fact that it's like, hey, everything seemed to point to something that was going to happen here, and then it didn't, or it was something very short lived. And so it feels like in order to kind of create balance with that in a certain sort of way, this experience, this person, whoever this is, this secret admirer that wants to say something, there's not going to be the prelude of a lot of kind of like indicators for you in terms of the ways in which you typically get sort of like signs, synchronicities. Your intuition lets you know certain things because you're supposed to be caught off guard, so that you don't get in your head, so that your defenses don't go up, so that you don't experience or really like receive this opportunity from this person. And you kind of even have like a subconscious belief of like, okay, I'm not gonna let what happened the last time happen here, which could be something like a mindset, or again, like a subconscious belief that could sort of interfere with the ease and the flow between you and whoever the secret admirer is. So it's really going to catch you by surprise. But it feels like, if you're resonating with this isn't someone that you're going to be like, ew, I don't want to hear from that person. No, I would never like consider that. It's somebody that you're going to be like very excited. If it's that person that was, kind of like lingering around, and nothing really happened and you thought something would, when they come out of the woodwork, when they say something, you're going to be like very happy that that happens. This isn't anyone that's going to have to come in and apologize for anything. This is kind of just like, hey, how's it going? How have you been? Like, you just sort of pick up where you left off. If this is a new person coming in, like totally new to you, it feels like they're going to say all the right things, they're going to do all the right things, they're going to give you, the right vibe. It's going to come in the right sort of way. Where either way, it feels like this is definitely the first step in a new direction as far as romance is concerned for you. We also have, I'm so attracted to you. You don't know what you do to me. Yeah, so whoever the secret admirer is, it's like they can't hold back for very much longer. They don't want to miss a window of opportunity with you in case you have other people you're talking to, other potential suitors. They don't want to take that risk. It feels like they've been sort of like sitting in the shadows looking for long enough, especially if this is somebody that like you'd given this person indicators in the past that like you were interested. It seemed like there was a lot of chemistry between the two of you, but they just never followed through on anything. This is somebody that almost wants to like make up for that kind of missed opportunity or that lost time. Whatever had been like the circumstance, whether this was sort of like internal fears, wounding, baggage, of an emotional nature, or they had like external circumstances that made them sort of feel like, I'm not ready to date yet, I'm not really ready to talk to anyone yet. It doesn't really feel like there was an actual third party in the mix, although for some of you that could have been the case. It could have just been somebody that was like, they just got out of a talking stage. They, just broke up with somebody. Maybe they had been rejected recently. And so they weren't quite confident enough. It's like, it didn't feel exactly right. And so they hesitated or held back. They didn't respond. They didn't reciprocate. They didn't kind of like, pick up the clues and indicators that you'd given to them of like, hey, I'm interested in you. I like you. I want to experience something more. They didn't kind of like gather those things up and run forward with them. And so they're very aware of that. Again, this is not somebody that's going to need to come in and like apologize. This isn't somebody that would have ghosted you. It's somebody that like, if you were talking to them, it's kind of just like the conversation sort of ended. You both went your separate ways. You might have been a bit confused. You might have been like, was I reading too much into that? What was that? That was like a weird kind of like one-off thing. But it feels like it's something that you wouldn't be like overly frustrated where this person would reach out or approach you. And again, like your walls would go up, your defenses would go up. You'd be like, nope, I don't want anything to do with that. This is not that kind of an energy. But it also feels like, again, because like how things have played out, or, maybe you're the one that has just like come out of a breakup, a talking stage that went nowhere. Maybe you were ghosted by somebody. It's like the universe wants whatever this is, whether it's like total secret admirer or just somebody that's like harboring these feelings for you, that's ready to express them. The universe wants you to be surprised. They don't want you to see this coming. They don't want you to kind of like feel the anticipation of like, okay, someone's going to approach. When's it going to be the day? And then you're looking all around, which is creating like a projective energy that would keep opportunities from coming in. The universe wants you on receptivity mode, just doing your thing, focusing on yourself, and that's when it pops up. That's when it happens. And so this person definitely is looking at you, with hungry eyes. They're like, yes, this is the moment. This is the person. This is where I want to take a step forward towards, not just to kind of like get a little up close and personal and, have like one conversation. But this is somebody that definitely wants to lead with that intention of like, hey, I got romance on the brain. Let's start to kind of explore things in that direction, whatever that would look like, whether it's the start of a talking stage, or somebody that is just going to like, ask for your number, in order to ask you out, like that kind of a thing. This person's attraction has been building up quietly behind the scenes. So all you need to do is be on receptivity mode. You don't need to be on the lookout for this person. It feels like the universe is going to make sure you're not going to see it coming. There's not going to be signs and synchronicities. If there are any signs and synchronicities, it's going to point you in one direction so that you're going to be caught off guard. You're looking one way, you're looking right. This person comes from the left. This is the type of situation where it's like you are in an experience or in like a window of time along your timeline where you are supposed to be swept off your feet. You're supposed to be flattered. You're supposed to be pleasantly surprised because it feels like you've had enough lessons, to last you for a while. You've had enough kind of like experiences that, kind of educated you on sort of the double-edged sword of free will, even though there was potential between you and other people. If they chose not to act upon that or follow through, or you chose to walk away, That's everybody's prerogative here in the 3D realm. And so the universe is wanting to give you an experience that's kind of like, okay, something to make you smile, something that will uplift you, something that won't just be a waste of time or, sow seeds of confusion or doubt within you. Something that is clear, something that is unmistakable, a person who is like, I like you and I'm going to pursue you accordingly. We also have, I've been having dreams of you. Yeah, so in terms of signs and synchronicities, it feels like this person, this secret admirer, they're the one that is having those. They're the one that is getting those little like nudges, those pushes, those little reassurances from the universe. Say something, do something, approach this person. You, on the other hand, are just kind of like you're doing your thing, you're minding your business, you got your focus elsewhere. You're not supposed to see this coming. But this person, it feels like, needs this kind of like wave of motivation. This may be something for them as well. This could be an opportunity for the two of you, to heal some kind of like recent or even sort of deep-seated wounds as far as romance is concerned, where this person might have come to a point where they kind of like question their own judgment. They question their own intuition. They got to double check things. They're praying for guidance. They're asking for those signs and synchronicities. And if that's the case, the universe is like screaming at them. Yes, take a leap of faith forward. Obviously, there are no guarantees as far as like how a situation's going to play out, but this is somebody who's gotten a lot of reassurances recently that it's not only their own kind of like attraction to you, it's not only their own kind of curiosity, it's not only the vibe between the two of you or what they've observed so far, but in whatever ways they kind of like pray, they get signs and synchronicities, maybe things that just come in, they haven't even asked for guidance, but things like, dreams coming through, different sorts of things that they're able to see that are very unique, very out of place in their ordinary reality, that this person is interpreting as like a sign, a signal from the universe. Do something, say something, take a chance, take a leap of faith. So this is somebody that is adhering to that guidance. Meanwhile, it feels like you are not supposed to see this coming, but it's definitely going to be something that it's going to be almost like a dream come true, because it feels like, unlike recent situations or previous situations, this isn't something that is just going to like, test those boundaries that you had to develop. This is not the kind of situation where it's like, okay, are you ready to repeat another lesson, or have you learned the lesson, and are you ready to move in another direction? It's like you've completed that cycle of learning what love is not, or, needing to kind of like choose yourself over sort of like lower vibration experiences. So now the universe is kind of like getting ready to gift you this opportunity with this person. It feels like that is going to be a dream come true compared to some of the experiences that you've had in the past, that might have made you at different points in time question your intuition, that you clearly see now as lessons. Here's that energy coming in, here's that experience, here's that person that offsets all of that, because they come in with the energy of like blessing written all over them. They say the right thing, they do the right thing. This is an experience you're going to be very happy, when this arrives. You're going to be very happy to take a chance on this person. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.